What's up, everybody? My name is Bill Malkotis of Vasily NYC. I've been a team rider on FTL since the beginning in 2012. Today I am here to teach you how to lace a wheel. The first thing we do is put the first 9 spokes in one side, and we're going to alternate every other hole on the hub, and we're also going to go every 4th hole on the rim, and we're going to make sure that the side of the hub that we're putting the spokes on and the side of the rim that the spokes lead into is the same, because you're going to want to be able to tighten to true the wheel later. If it's moving too far to the right, we're going to tighten the left and it's going to pull it back. Otherwise, the cross lace is just going to throw everything up. So that's it. I'm relacing this hub, so if you can see, I already have some grooves and I could follow those to help me start, because one of the hardest parts about lacing a wheel the first time is getting the valve stem in between where the actual spokes are, to where it's like easy or hard to to reach with a valve pump. Anyway, who cares? Let's get this thing going. I guess I'm going to start by putting them in through the inside, because that's harder. Get the hard part out of the way first. So like I said, we're going to put 9 spokes every other hole on the hub first. The math makes sense because there's 36 spokes in a complete wheel, and each side of the wheel has 18 spokes. It's a symmetrical object. Now that we have the first 9 spokes on the first side of the hub, the next step is to add it to the rim. So eventually the spokes are going to fill in their old grooves like this, and it's definitely easier to relace a wheel than to lace one from scratch. So if you can see and imagine, use your imagination, this is how it's going to look. Now it's up to us to decide which is the right hole for it to go into to start. So honestly, for me, I have no idea how the right way to do this is. I'm just going to guess. And I hope that I guess the right hole for the first spoke. I'm going to do it directly next to the valve hole. You see that? So I'm just going to choose that to be the first spoke. I'm going to put a fresh nipple in there. I'm going to put a fresh nipple in there. And now, yeah, righty-tighty is fine here. I guess... Yeah, another really important part of lacing wheels, especially in the beginning, I just realized you don't want to tighten these things too much right off the bat, and it's really important, if you can, to only tighten the nipples at first the exact same amount. So I'm going to try to catch the thread, and then once I catch the thread, I want to go a couple of turns, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to hope that I did that okay, because it's going to suck if I didn't. Alright, so let's get this thing where it needs to be. We have 9 spokes here. Every 4th hole is going to have one of these. So I like to just count 3 gaps, like 1, 2, 3, and then 1. I find that easier than counting every 4th for whatever reason. I don't know. So just loosely get those things on there. Get that thing in there. I really hope this wheel comes out good. So now that the first 9 spokes are in, gotta spin it a little bit. We want to spin the hub a little and push it to the other side. That'll actually keep it centered. And now if you kind of look from the side, you see that the spokes are just now starting to bend. That's okay, because we're basically controlling how the spokes are going to sit, in the wheel. They're eventually going to take on a slightly bent shape so that they, interlock and keep the wheel together in a good way. Alright, and this is the 9th one, 18th spoke of the wheel. The trick for now is that these are going to go in the opposite direction of the first 9. So I'm gonna actually flip the hub over and just see if I could follow the impressions that the previous lace had. All right, check it out, guys. So a lot of the times with different styles of lacing wheels, they're gonna talk about like 3-cross, 4-cross, or cross-laced. Today we're gonna do 3-cross, which means I cross 1, 2, 3 spokes before I reach the rim. You know, so like this is 1 spoke, and every spoke is gonna have the same thing happen to it when it's done, but it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 3-cross to the rim, and it lines up pretty good like that. The tricky part is that you only go over these 2 and you have to go under this one. So you gotta bend the spoke a little bit just so it fits underneath, and that's what gives the wheel such good tension that you could jump off a 50-story building and do a bar spin tail whip and then land it and be cool, you know? So here we go. Now this is the 10th spoke, but it's the first of the cross. Now something I didn't think about, but is a really good idea. You could actually, if it's hard to see, but you could look and eyeball how much thread is exposed in every spoke. And if we could keep those as uniform as possible for right now, that'll help us out later on when we're truing the wheel and making it straight and, solid. Anyway, for the next one, it's 1, 2, under. So we go under this guy. And it lines up perfectly with that spoke hole, which we love. Ultimately, lacing a wheel is a puzzle, but it works out, and if you do it the right way, it shouldn't be that hard. It takes practice. Don't kick yourself if it takes you a few tries. My first wheel I laced, I was in 9th grade, and it didn't take me first try. It was quite a while before I got the hang of it. Alright guys, I'm about to put in the 18th spoke, which is the last one on the non-drive side. As you can see, it's lining up pretty good. I had to correct myself, but I caught my mistake early on and it wasn't terrible. So just following that over, under pattern, 3-cross, like standard 3-cross pattern, the spokes look to be lining up pretty good. And as soon as I get this one in, I'm going to show you what to do next. Because once this spoke is solid, what we gotta do is, wait for it, drum roll please, ba-da-da-ba-da-dum. It looks pretty good. We're just gonna push and then try to get all these spokes and nipples out of the rim. So, ultimately, right now, if you look at the wheel, it's very off-center. When the wheel is done, it's going to be like all the way out here, So we got to keep that into consideration when we're lacing the next side. Thankfully, the hub has already been laced to a wheel previously, so I'm going to drop in every other spoke, all 9 of them. And I'm going to follow the exact pattern that was set by the last lace. Alright, so every other hole has a spoke on this side. You can see that. I'm just going to hold these up and disperse them out. Don't want them to fall out. I watched a video when I was younger of some guy at Albie's BMX shop lace a wheel in like 22 minutes. I don't know how they did that. Anyway. So remember, have the other side all pushed through. You don't want the nipples to be hidden. And since this is the first on this side, we're literally just gonna put it in, and like all 9 of them going this way are going to be pretty easy. We're just following the same pattern as the last one. I mean, now's the tricky part. Now we gotta tighten all the spokes to where it's like, you know, strong. So, yeah, I mean, I usually do it and it ends up wonky, so I'm gonna try our filmer Alex's way. He says he tightens the 3, or I guess 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So, whatever side, you can see how like each spoke has like right side spokes and then left side spokes. I mean, it's a left side drive hub, so this side's the left. So these spokes are on the left side of the rim, and then these spokes are on the right side of the rim. I'm gonna do the 3. I'm gonna tighten a little bit, like slowly at first, because we're gonna spin around a few times. I'm gonna tighten the first 3 on the right, and then the first 3 on the left, then the next 3 on the right, and then the next 3 on the left. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. It's an alternating process, and I mean, right now I want to just tighten it so I don't see the threads anymore. I might even be able to do it by hand, who knows. So 1, no, can't do it by hand. Alright, you guys, I'm about to tighten the last spoke. We're going to spin it, and if I have to true it again, I'm going to freak out. It's about balls on. Thank you very much for watching. I am ready to shred. Let's do it.